Here's something critical that most beginners miss. Generalists make less money than specialists. Let me show you why. The generalist problem. A generalist VA says, I can do anything: email management, social media, customer support, bookkeeping, research, you name it, I can do it. Sounds good, right? Wrong. Here's the problem. When you say you can do everything, you're competing on price. You're competing with every other generalist VA on Upwork, and there are thousands of them. So you end up in a race to the bottom. You're charging $15, $20, $25 an hour. You're working with multiple clients to make decent money. You're stressed. You're not making much. The specialist advantage. A specialist VA says, I help e-commerce businesses manage their customer support and operations. I specialize in Shopify stores with 5 to 50 employees. Sounds narrow, right? It is, and that's the point. When you specialize, you're not competing on price. You're competing on expertise. You're competing on results. You're competing on fit. A business owner running a Shopify store with 20 employees will pay $40, $50, $60 an hour for a VA who understands their specific business. They won't pay that to a generalist. Why? Because a specialist can hit the ground running. A specialist understands their pain points. A specialist can deliver results faster. So a specialist charges more. A specialist works with fewer clients. A specialist is less stressed. A specialist makes more money. The numbers. Here's the actual difference. A generalist VA working 40 hours per week at $20 an hour makes $800 per week or $3,200 per month. A specialist VA working 40 hours per week at $50 an hour makes $2,000 per week or $8,000 per month. Same hours, different positioning. 2.5x more income, and the specialist is actually less stressed because they're working with fewer clients and doing work they're good at. How to specialize. So how do you specialize? You choose a niche. You pick a specific client type, for example, e-commerce businesses, coaches, agencies, and a specific skill or service, for example, customer support, social media, email marketing. Then you position yourself as the expert in that niche. You talk about that niche, you create content about that niche, you pitch to businesses in that niche. Over time, you become known as the go-to VA for that niche, and you can charge premium rates. This is the path to real income as a VA. Now, let me show you something exciting, the future of VA work. The VA landscape is not static, it's evolving, and if you understand these trends, you can position yourself ahead of the curve. Trend 1. AI-assisted VA work. AI is not going to replace VAs, but VAs who use AI will replace VAs who don't. Smart VAs are already using AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and specialized AI platforms to work faster and deliver better results. They're using AI to draft emails, create content, analyze data, and automate repetitive tasks. A VA who understands how to use AI can do 2x or 3x the work in the same time. They can charge more because they deliver more value. So if you're entering the VA space now, learn AI tools, understand how to use them, integrate them into your workflow. This is a competitive advantage. Trend 2. High-value services. The demand is shifting from low-value administrative tasks to high-value strategic work. Clients still need email management and scheduling, but they're increasingly hiring VAs for strategy, analysis, project management, and business development. A VA who can do market research, analyze competitor data, identify opportunities, and create strategic recommendations is worth way more than a VA who just schedules meetings. So think about how you can move up the value chain. What high-value services can you offer in your niche? Trend 3. Niche expertise. As I mentioned earlier, the trend is towards specialization, but it's going deeper. Clients aren't just looking for a VA, they're looking for a VA who understands e-commerce, or a VA who understands podcasting, or a VA who understands coaching businesses. The more specific your expertise, the more you can charge. So think about your niche deeply. What industry or business type do you want to serve? What specific challenges do they face? How can you become an expert in solving those challenges? Trend 4. Automation and integration. Tools are getting smarter. Platforms are integrating. Workflows are automating. A VA who can understand automation tools, can set up workflows, and can integrate different platforms is providing massive value to clients. For example, a VA who can set up a workflow where customer inquiries automatically get logged, assigned, and tracked is saving a business hours of manual work. Learn automation, learn integration. This is a high-value skill. Trend 5. Global collaboration. The VA market is becoming increasingly global. Clients in the US are hiring VAs in Africa. Clients in Europe are hiring VAs in Asia. This is good news for you. It means you're not competing just locally, you're competing globally. But it also means you need to be professional, reliable, and good at communication. The VAs who succeed in this global market are the ones who understand time zones, who communicate clearly, who deliver consistently. So embrace the global nature of the VA market. It's an opportunity.